On the night of June 13, 1993, Minneapolis, Minnesota, became the site of a chilling and gruesome murder. Jeannie Ann Childs, a 35-year-old woman known for her vibrant personality, was found dead in her apartment in the Horn Towers. The crime scene was horrifying. A woman brutally stabbed 65 times in what appeared to be a passionate, frenzied attack. Blood splattered across the apartment, with clear signs of a struggle. Despite a diligent investigation, this case remained unsolved for years. Detectives could not uncover any suspects, and as time passed, the trail went cold. Yet, the case that had haunted the Minneapolis police force for over 2 decades was eventually solved, not through new witnesses or confessions, but through a small, seemingly insignificant clue: a bloody footprint found near the victim's body. The breakthrough in the case came 26 years after Jeannie's tragic death, and the discovery of this piece of overlooked evidence would help uncover a shocking and unexpected truth. Jeannie's apartment was a place of horror when investigators arrived. The scene appeared chaotic, with Jeannie's body lying lifeless on the floor. Police immediately began collecting evidence, including blood samples and hair fibers, but one piece stood out: a bloody footprint. The footprint was located near Jeannie's body and appeared to be made by someone wearing a specific type of shoe. This would later become a crucial clue. However, in 1993, forensic science was not as advanced as it is today. While the investigators did their best to piece together the puzzle, they were unable to make any significant progress, and the case was soon cold. Years passed and the investigation stagnated. Jeannie's family, devastated by her sudden and brutal death, never gave up hope, but as each year went by, the trail grew colder. The case became just another unsolved murder that, despite numerous efforts, appeared destined to remain a mystery. For over 2 decades, the case lingered in the files of the Minneapolis Police Department, periodically revisited by investigators who hoped to uncover new leads. But time, combined with a lack of new forensic tools and technology, meant that no progress was made. Fast forward to 2015, when the case was reopened as part of a larger push to solve cold cases using advanced forensic technology. Investigators turned to genetic genealogy, a method that had shown promise in solving several high-profile cold cases in recent years. This technique involves taking DNA evidence, comparing it to public genealogical databases, and finding potential family connections. In 2018, a breakthrough came when investigators uploaded DNA from the crime scene to a public genealogy database. They found a potential match to Jerry Westrom, a man with no prior criminal record who was living in Wisconsin. What was initially a match based on family relations quickly developed into a stronger connection when investigators followed Westrom's life history. While the DNA match was a significant lead, there was still another crucial piece of the puzzle to solve: the footprint found at the crime scene. Forensic podiatrists, specialists in foot anatomy, were brought in to analyze the print. Using advanced techniques, they compared the footprint's unique characteristics with Westrom's foot anatomy. To the investigators' shock, the analysis confirmed that the footprint was remarkably consistent with Westrom's foot. This was a key breakthrough. The footprint that had once seemed like just a small, unimportant detail was now a major link between the suspect and the crime. Westrom's shoe size, gait, and the specific wear patterns on his shoes all matched the evidence found at the scene. By the end of 2021, authorities had enough evidence to arrest Jerry Westrom for the 1993 murder of Jeannie Ann Childs. He was taken into custody in Wisconsin, where he was living under a different name, and brought back to Minneapolis to face charges. The trial began in 2022, and it was a complex legal battle. The defense tried to argue that the evidence was circumstantial and that DNA testing could have been contaminated. They claimed that there were other potential explanations for the footprint found at the scene. But the prosecution presented a compelling case. They brought in forensic experts who testified to the accuracy of the footprint analysis and the DNA match, as well as the consistency of the evidence with Westrom's physical traits. After several weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated and returned a guilty verdict. Jerry Westrom was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Jeannie's family, who had been waiting for over 2 decades to hear the truth, could finally find some closure knowing that justice had been served. The resolution of Jeannie's case brought a sense of relief to her grieving family and the community. Jeannie's mother, who had been tirelessly advocating for answers, spoke to the media after the verdict was delivered. She expressed gratitude that the truth had finally been revealed, but she also shared her sorrow over the lost years. For the Minneapolis police, the case was a win for forensic science and persistence. While the initial investigators had not been able to solve the case, their work, combined with the advances in DNA technology, ensured that Jeannie's death was no longer a forgotten tragedy. The bloody footprint that had been overlooked in 1993 became the key that ultimately solved the case and brought justice to Jeannie. Jeannie and Child's case is a testament to the power of modern forensic techniques and the determination of law enforcement to solve even the most cold and seemingly unsolvable cases. The footprint that had once been dismissed as an unimportant detail became the linchpin of a 26-year-old mystery. Jerry Westrum's arrest and conviction serve as a reminder that justice may be delayed, but it will not be denied. This case also highlights the evolving nature of forensic science. In 1993, the technology needed to solve this case simply didn't exist, but today, DNA analysis and footprint identification are crucial tools in solving cold cases. The murder of Jeannie and Childs will never be forgotten, and her family can now, at long last, find peace knowing that the person responsible for her death was brought to justice.